right, the numbers are coming up. Here we go. We're crossing 100. Here we go. 100. Crossing 2. Hearts. Why is my school project? What is the 3 important elements for a bar to stay successful? Focusing on the customer. If you don't focus on the customer, you're going to lose the customer. But if you don't focus on the business, you're going to lose the business. You got to keep a focus on both. I'm your hero. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say. By the way, for those of you interested, I'm sitting in my office actually now in Las Vegas, and this was my day off, but I really wanted to come do this and talk to everybody. Love watching Bar Rescue. You embrace solutions. That's a good job. That's what I do. You know, it's funny. That became one of my most famous quotes, and when I say these things, I never think of them ahead of time. It just sort of came out. It's interesting to see how long that one has lasted and shut it down. You like watching me kick ass? Well, tonight you're going to see probably one of the heaviest kick-ass episodes and transformation episodes we've ever done. Tonight's episode was actually a shocker for me because it was a complete surprise when I shot it. I didn't see any of it coming that actually happened, and we'll talk about it a little later, but there were certain things in that episode I didn't know were going to happen. You love all bar rescue shows. You DVR them. You better watch the commercials if you DVR them, or my sponsors are going to get angry at you. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you. You used to work for a bar. Boy, they're going by so quick, guys. It's hard for me to read them. Amaretto sour. Shake and drink? Yes. When you make a drink with lemon juice, you shake it. An amaretto sour. Who can tell me the difference between a sour and a stone sour? Anyone? No, Nicole is actually home with the dog. She's not here with me now. And we're packing because we're heading out to shoot our 100th episode we shoot in the next few days of Bar Rescue. Thank you all for that. My favorite drink is a Godfather. A Godfather is scotch with a couple of drops of amaretto. And I'll drink a lot of types of scotch, but typically a 18-year-old, 16-year-old, something like that. I have 2 dogs. One is a miniature schnauzer. The other's a rescue dog. I'm not sure what she is. Her name is Moxie, and I think she's somewhat of a border terrier, but I'm not sure. You were at Downey's in Philadelphia. I'm not sure that went so well, did it? Orange juice is the difference. You nailed it. That's right. The difference between a sour and a stone sour is a sour is just lemon juice, whereas a stone sour is lemon juice and orange juice. Am I tough on my dogs? No, my dogs are tough on me. They run my house, for Christ's sakes. I'm not tough on my dogs at all. It's nice to see so many of you asking about Nicole. I'll make sure she knows that you all did. I should expand and do some other rescue shows. You know, I just signed a deal with Spike to develop another show, and we're working on that now, so hopefully we'll have an announcement soon to make about a new show coming up. Show's coming on at 10 p.m. tonight. We're an hour later this season, so don't miss it at 10 p.m. We started at 10 p.m., I believe, for the first 2 seasons, and then we went to 9. Now we're back to 10. Personally, I prefer the 10 o'clock time slot. I think it's better. When will they air Caribe? Tonight, I believe we are airing that. Boy, they're going by so quick, it's hard to read them. Hey, John, I put some money where your mouth is. You have great respect for that. Thank you, guys. And for those of you who want me to run for president, you really think I should run for president? You think I could do better than the other people out there? Wow, a lot of you are saying yes. Wow, a whole bunch of you are saying yes. Maybe I should get a hat that says, Make America Even Greater. How's that one? Do it. Yes, yes, yes. You got my vote. You got my vote. Yes. So next week, there's something that I'm publishing that's actually very important to me. It's called the Small Business Rescue Act. And I actually wrote a political platform to save small business in America. And it's designed to ignite 3-4 blocks in downtown Main Street with all these tax credits. I am making it public next week with a public announcement, and I'm hoping some candidates will at least endorse it. And if they endorse that, then I can make a difference. So look for that next week. It's called the SBRA, the Small Business Rescue Act, and we're going to be making it public, and I'm really excited about it. As a matter of fact, we'll be making it public late tomorrow afternoon. And the act basically provides tax credits in certain size communities in downtown areas to promote the opening of small businesses, which is really, really needed. Your wife says hello. Hello! So, take a look at my shirt, everyone. See if I can do this here. That didn't work out. Okay, you asked me for Shut It Down t-shirts. Finally, I did it. There are now Shut It Down t-shirts available at jontaffer.com. They're really cool. I'm wearing one now. Let me try again. Oh, there we go. So if you want one, go get one. We also have Shut It Down buttons for your desk coming, and I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to show you one for the hell of it because people are going to get angry because you can't get one yet, but they're coming out in a couple of weeks, so watch jontaffer.com. You ready for this? Whoop.
Shut it down!
So those are coming soon. Watch jontaffer.com for the Shut It Down buttons. So, you think the 10 o'clock slot is better? You think the 9 o'clock slot is better? Do people on the East Coast care? Presidential slogan, shut it down. I hear you. I hear you. It's interesting how bad people can do, but they just sort of stick around, don't they? Come on, give me a couple of questions here, some tough ones. What was the, see you tonight at 10, thank you. You live in Taylor, Michigan. You just did the hooch there. Yes, I just spent a month in Michigan. We did Ann Arbor and Detroit area, and Michigan's one of my favorite states in America. I really love being here. It was great to be there for a whole month. I got to go to Henry Ford Museum. I got to shoot a Ford commercial, which is actually coming out tomorrow, and I loved my time in Michigan. Where's everybody from? Let's see some states go by. What's the craziest bar rescue episode? I'm not just saying this. Tonight actually might be the craziest of ever, because in tonight's episode, I had no idea what was coming. I did Recon with somebody who I knew was going to be a little different than any Recon I had ever done. But what happened during that Recon blew me away. So I think from my viewpoint, this was the most shocking episode I've ever shot. It was also one of the most rewarding episodes I've ever shot. So tonight's a really special one. And I'll tell you a secret. We actually held on to it to show it tonight as the first of a new bunch of episodes because we loved it so much. This is one of my favorites. Hello from Canada. Hi. I work up in Canada all the time. Getting cold up there. Hello, Houston. Scottsdale. We worked in Scottsdale as well. You know, the start of my career, I actually started tending bar in college. I never thought I'd be in this business. I was going to college for political science, believe it or not, and wound up tending bar and stayed in the bar business ever since. And it goes to show you never know what's going to happen. Life can take a turn at any time, but you got to seize every opportunity. Because when you seize every opportunity, a couple of them can blow up big. My grandfather once said, who was a very wealthy man, my grandfather once said, if the deals you do are big enough, you only have to be right 51% of the time. Taffer 2016. How many bars do have promotions? You know, this is the 100th bar rescue episode that we're shooting. And for those of you that don't know this, I do design every one. And I do create every concept, and I work on every bar stool, every piece of wallpaper. I have a team of people that I work with, but I sign off on every single thing that goes in every bar rescue. After 100 of them, you know, how many original ideas can we come up with? So we're always working on the newest idea, but I'm really, really excited about this season because this season I think we really upped the game. I think you'll see that the remodels, we really pushed and pushed. We pushed culinary. We pushed everything to really raise it to a different level. Hey, we raised the bar, didn't we? So all of you are asking me to run for president. Ask me some bar rescue questions. Who has an inside question you have me on an episode of Bar Rescue? Anybody have a question? Something they've wondered that they've never, ever thought about? How many bars have survived? That's a great question. There's actually an independent website. I believe it's called Bar Rescue Updates. And I'm not involved in it. The show, Spike, none of us are involved in it. It's completely independent. And it has us tracking at about 75, 80% success ratio. And I'm told that's the highest of any business transformation TV show. So I'm really proud of that number. And when we do Back to the Bars and we talk about it, you know, when you're successful almost 80% of the time, you really don't have an issue talking about the other 20%. So I have no problem talking about the 80% or the 20%. Yes, the Pirate Bar did go out of business about 6 or 8 months ago. And interestingly, I saw Tracy and Giussiano from the Pirate Bar at an event I was at. They were there. And of course, we hugged, and there's no hard feelings. And they're opening their own bar in Florida soon, another one. I don't think this is going to be a pirate-themed bar, which is interesting. They did the pirate-themed bar in Maryland, and they're doing a non-pirate-themed bar in Florida. But we'll see what happens. How do you pick which bars to go to? You know, about 2,000 to 3,000 bars sign up to be on Bar Rescue. We pick the cities we want to go to, and then we have to pick 2 or 3 in each city because we come in with a crew of about 50 people, a bunch of trucks, and it's a pretty substantial production. So we'll stay in each city typically for 3, sometimes 4 episodes. So we'll pick the cities, then we'll pick the bars, and then we'll do everything we can so that the people don't know I'm coming in when I get there. Sometimes they think I'm coming the next day. Sometimes they think I was coming yesterday and didn't show up. Sometimes they think, oh, he just showed up at a bar down on the other side of town. He's not coming here at all. But we do everything we can think of to make sure that they're not certain I'm coming in. Fact of the matter is I want to keep it real. So I want to see them as they really are. If they knew I was watching, I'm not sure they'd be as they really are in some cases. What happened with the gay nightclub in Vegas that closed after the rescue? That was Gypsy, which became SBLV. I understand that's opening in a few weeks, and I saw Brandon from that bar who came to a bar rescue shoot we did to say hello. Brandon was the one who, remember the owner screamed, "Brandon, play Janet Jackson." Well, I saw Brandon a couple weeks ago who told me that finally he's going to be opening that bar in the next few weeks. So hopefully he does, and I wish him well. Paul was a good guy. Play some Janet Jackson. That was a funny scene, wasn't it? One of my favorites. What is the biggest bar that failed? Well, I'm not certain. I don't pay that much attention to the failures, and after 100 of them, I can't think of. I mean, O-Face comes to mind. Certainly, was a massive failure. There was one of the original ones that we did, I think, in the first season. It was called Swanky Bubbles, and they were the first ones to ever change the name back the next day and went out of business about 3 weeks later. So, you know, I wish them success, whether they change names or don't. Obviously, I want everybody to be successful. But you know, when we work so hard at something, I think everybody should give it a chance. And anybody who removes anything immediately or within a week or so without giving it at least a month or two to root and become something, I think is foolish. Low power. We're having a problem here. Fights behind the scenes. No, there's never been a fight behind the scene at a bar rescue that I'm aware to my knowledge, ever. You've always seen any bit of anything that's happened. Of course, sometimes the skirmish might be a little longer than you see on TV. Remember, we're there for 5 days. You see about an hour of it, about 42 minutes of it. So there's a lot that you don't see sometimes. But scenes are shortened, but sometimes, but never changed. So some of the skirmishes you see are a little longer than they appeared, but never worse or nothing is ever hidden. I'm not sure what happened to Downey's on South Street. You know, the owner was a really good guy, but he had some serious tax debt when we left. I'm not certain if he was able to dig out of that hole or not. I know he was open a few months ago, but I don't know what's going on now. You know, people say all the time, Gordon Ramsay and I should get together, or Robert Irvine and I should get together. You know, Robert Irvine and I are very dear friends. But he's on one network, Ramsey's on one network, I'm on another network. We have contracts. Unfortunately, we'd love to do something together, and maybe one day we will, but contractually, that's not going to happen very soon. Filming a new show. Well, we're still talking about what it is and figuring out the creative. I'm going to guess we'll start filming it this winter, and you'll probably see it late spring, early summer. What's advice for dealing with difficult people in any situation or profession? You know, I believe in being direct, and I believe in being honest. As a boss, I'm honest with the people that work for me. I believe that they appreciate that, and we can build a relationship of honesty. As an employee, I believe the same thing exists. I think you need to be honest. If you're working for somebody who's difficult, and if that difficult person is stifling your growth, then leave. But if you can't deal with somebody who's difficult and it doesn't affect your career, just try to bypass them. What is the 80s? Okay, that's a good question. What is the 80-20 customer ratio? Here's the science. If you take a look at the people in a bar at any given time, about 80% of the people in a room should be customers that have been there before, part of the existing customer base, frequency, if you will. 20% should be new customers. If you go into a bar and it's all new customers or 80% new customers and it's been there for a while, that tells you that people aren't coming back. That's a problem. Conversely, if you walk into a bar and it's all frequent customers, no new customers, that tells you it's going to get boring. There aren't new people coming in. It's not being energized. Either one is a problem. The right mixture is 20% new customers, 80% old. It's a Taffer science for you. Best bar in Connecticut. I can't think of one right now. You know, I shoot bar rescue guys 40 weeks a year now. And so I don't get to go to a lot of bars. You guys are probably going to more bars than me these days. Come back to Jersey City. I love Jersey. I'd come back anytime. When I was younger, I used to spend summers in Ocean Grove in the Asbury Park area. I love Jersey and the Jersey Shore. I used to also run nightclubs in Philadelphia years ago and lived right nearby in Jersey. Bars in the UK suck. Oh, come on. There's some good ones. The American-like bars are pretty good. I'm kidding you. There's some great bars. Remember, pubs in America came from the United Kingdom. And the second public building ever built in America was a bar. The first was a church. And that bar was called the pub, which meant public house, which came from British roots. My friends in the United Kingdom, you've influenced us a great deal. We got to get your bars a little more current because sometimes I think they're a little too traditional. So maybe we need to hip them up a little bit. Is second base still open? I believe it is. I'm not sure of that. Go to Bar Rescue Updates. I'm sure they have the information there. Come back to Long Island. Those of you might know I grew up in Long Island, in Great Neck. And I come back every chance I can. I have friends that I like to see often. Did you own a bar? Yes, I owned 17 at one point. I sold almost all of them and maybe closed one or two over the years. But I'm the type of guy who doesn't believe a business is it's not my wife, it's not my daughter, it's not my dogs, it's just a business. I'll sell it in a heartbeat. So I'm the kind of guy who will build a great business up and then sell it, and then build another one and sell it, build another one and sell it. And that's how I got my experience. I opened and sold so many places over the years that I did it more than other people. And so that was a style. Some people hold on to something forever. To me, it's just bricks and mortar and money. I'll flip it in a minute if I can make money on it. It's family and people that you stick with, not buildings and businesses. What's the newest Taffer shot? Great question. Now I'm going to bust you. Watch tonight and you'll see it. Flip the entire city of Detroit. You know, I was in Detroit, and it is America's comeback city. Things are really turning around there. And Detroit has a lot to be proud of these days. I think the worst is behind it. And I was pretty excited, and I really loved my time there. I love you too. So, let me see for a moment. Let's just have some fun for a moment. Give me everybody's favorite quotes, excluding shut it down and solutions. Give me some quotes, excluding those. And I got to tell you, if you come up with a few good ones, I might send you a t-shirt. Let's see. The green turtle used to have a green lizard. Shame on you. Not a bad one. You're an idiot. Well, I say that a lot, actually. Super butt funnel? Play some Janet Jackson. Can anybody tell me what episode this came from? I need to be frank. Frank. Can anybody tell me what episode that was? If you can, I'll be very surprised. Who can tell me what episode I said, let's be frank, Frank? Nobody's getting it. Tiki Bar in Florida. Which episode did I go? El Morante. Who can tell me which episode that was? Wow, these quotes are just flying by. Dimples, nope. El Morante was in Tres Agaves, was in that episode. You're going to kill somebody. Not a bad quote. The lobster tank. Oh, you guys remember that lobster tank? Yeah, that was a pet peeve of mine. By the way, when they cooked the lobster, they not only took it out of that disgusting tank and the thing was half dead, they then dropped it in a pot of warm water, not hot, and then they brought it to temperature slowly, so this lobster suffered. And you can actually hear a little scream when you drop them in the water. It's really disturbing to me. And if you're going to kill the thing, at least kill it properly. It is delicious, but at least respect the animal and kill it properly. Now you're not hungry, thanks. Did I just ruin your dinner? You should come spend a couple of days with me on Bar Rescue. You won't eat for a week. Oh, the Nerdist broadcast. Yeah, that was really fun. I had a lot of fun with those guys. Chris is a great guy, and we had a lot of fun, especially the Recon. They did Recon in the Haunted Bar episode, which was freaking hysterical, and Matt was unbelievable. That was really funny when we scared Lisa Marie in that episode. But I'll be back on the Nerdist soon, and that was really fun. Who watches AfterBuzz TV? Does anybody ever watch the Bar Rescue After Show on AfterBuzz TV? If you go to AfterBuzzTV.com, every week there's a Bar Rescue After Show. And often a lot of the experts from the show, sometimes the owners call in. It's really fun. And if you haven't seen it, check it out, AfterBuzzTV.com, and then look for Bar Rescue. And you'll see there's an after show each week, and it's a podcast that you can download, and it's really fun. More Nick, please. Lady with the Bell. With the ding, 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 ding. I remember that was a good one. Fayetteville. Potato skins. You know, I actually had a great idea for the Washington Redskins myself, and some people thought I was crazy. You know, everybody's talking about changing that name and that it's offensive and everything. I don't think you need to change the name if you just change the logo. Just make it a redskin potato, and then everybody is fine, right? So those of you who are interested in potatoes, it just went by. Cook with redskin potatoes. If was, would you do a pot drink? Yeah, I would not be opposed to anything that's legal, that is responsible. What was the best bar in New York City? Wow. You know, there's a number of great bars in New York City, and I don't want to just name one out of another, but the great thing about New York City is it's such a big city, but it really is a bunch of small neighborhoods. And the best bars in New York are really mostly the small neighborhood bars in each little community. And there's great mixology bars all over New York. There's a lot of cities like that now. An episode of Bar Rescue, somebody just asked me how long it takes to film one, is actually shot in real time. And the first day is Recon. I get there, I do Recon. When Recon is over, we actually turn off the cameras, and then I go in and design the bar that night with the cameras off. The next day is day 2, where I train, have staff meetings, things like that, and then we do stress test. Day 3 is a training day, just like you see on TV. Day 4 and half of day 5 is remodel. Yep, we do it in 36 hours. And then day 5 is the relaunch. And we shoot in 5 days. We take off 2 or 3, and then we shoot another 5, take off 2 or 3, shoot another 5. And honestly, it's pretty brutal. Sure, I've been to Jacksonville, Florida. I used to go to, I believe it was the Landing there, if I'm not mistaken, years ago. There was a development there. And I looked at putting a nightclub in there years ago, but it actually didn't work out. You getting pumped for the new bar rescue? So am I. It's funny. I shot this episode, and I haven't seen it myself in a few months. So I'm actually really looking forward to watching this one. This one is really intense, and it's really dramatic, and you're going to see intensity. But I promise almost anybody's going to tear up on this one. This is a roller coaster ride. That's why it's the first one. I don't believe the owner of Headhunters ever paid his employees, to my knowledge. That guy was just lived in some kind of a fantasy world and justified the way he was to himself. So I don't think he had any guilt, which means he had no reason to pay his employees if he didn't feel bad about it. So my guess is he didn't. Yeah, I try to make them pay it all. If you might remember in the Campbell's episode, when Packy didn't pay his staff, I made him go write a check, and I've done that a few times. Sometimes they just don't have the money to write the check. But in the case of Headhunters, they weren't even on a payroll. So I had them complete all their tax forms and tried to get everybody on a payroll, at least to make everybody legal. Green Bay. You want us to come do a rescue in Green Bay? I don't think the Packers need one. Oh, you like the slime bucket quote? Yeah, that's a pretty good one, too. He was a slime bucket. He really deserved that. And those things, by the way, are the way I feel at the moment. Nothing is scripted in bar rescue. That anger is real. And the intensity that I have is due to the fact that I only have 5 days to do about 30 days work. So I'm pushing and pushing and pushing, and there's a clock ticking in the back of my head the entire time. So bar rescue is a pressure cooker to change the lives of people, and a physical bar, and the logos and the signs and the recipes and the interior and the furniture and the people and the training, and change the attitude of the owners. And we really have 5 days, and we remodel to 36 hours. So I really only have 3 days with the people. So it's a pressure cooker, and it's a challenge every week. It is. And when I say I don't think I'm going to make it, I don't think I'm going to make it. Luckily, I have almost every time. Bar should have football-themed drinks. Years ago, when we used to work and work on Sunday Ticket, we would have different colored cocktails in different areas. So if Green Bay fans sat in one corner, they would have a green cocktail. And if Jets fans sat in another area, they would have their cocktail, and Patriots fans would have their cocktails. So we used to do that often, but we'd also dress the staff in their jerseys and really theme different parts of the room to make it a much more of an inclusive experience. You like the PSA for the new season? Well, if you keep watching, I'll keep rescuing these bars. All righty, let's see here. Crayon Lady, worst singer ever. Okay, let's be nice now. You're talking about Lonnie Walker. And Lonnie Walker was somebody who had one record many, many years ago and tried to live off that. Lonnie Walker was actually a very, very sweet person, and her son Jordan was terrific. Unfortunately, she just didn't know how to get off her own stage. And she changed her name back. I understand they're struggling now, and the bar still features Lonnie Walker on stage, and I think you got to pay $5 just to walk in for the honor of hearing that voice. Comedy Club in Scottsdale is one of the best. We have a special bar, Back to the Bar episode coming up soon, and that one's going to be in at Scottsdale, and you're going to love that one. New Orleans Bar. Yeah, you're talking about Spirits on Bourbon. That was one of our most successful. I'll tell you a couple fun things about Spirits on Bourbon. They sell 16,000 resurrection cocktails a month. That's how many of those skull cups they go through. 16,000 a month. And the barbershop chair does about $70,000 a month in sales, just that chair. And I'm told that barbershop chair is one of the most photographed attractions on Bourbon Street now. I'm really proud of Spirits on Bourbon, and I'm proud of Steve and Brad down there who become friends. They do a great job down there. And if you ever go to Bourbon Street, definitely go to Spirits. Yeah, the Skull Cups were great. What's great about the Skull Cups and the blue drinks on Bourbon Street was you can't go 100 feet without seeing one of those blue drinks, and I know that those are ours. So I smile when you see the blue glowing drinks up and down Bourbon Street. It's a lot of fun. I bring the health department in when I feel I need to. I've brought them in 2 or 3 times, and I bring them in to make a point. And I think that the whole point of bar rescue is to try to inspire bar owners to be better and bar customers to be more demanding, to make bar customers and bar operators better. Butt Funnel Taffer. You know, the butt funnel was created, I probably created the butt funnel a little over 20 years ago. The concept of the butt funnel was to have people rub together. Now, when you approach the butt funnel and you look at somebody, you have a choice of either approaching it face to back, or back to back. So if you're a guy and you're approaching the butt funnel and a girl is approaching the butt funnel at the same time, the choice that she makes to go in forward with you or backward with you might change your entire future. Butt funnel, I've actually built a lot of clubs with butt funnels, and it's a really successful architectural feature. How do you keep people inside a bar when they... The way you keep people inside a bar is to make it great. People don't leave a bar if they're having a great time. Remember that. Nobody leaves a great bar and says it was expensive either. People only leave shitty bars and say they're expensive. And people only leave early if a bar is lacking in some way. So I wouldn't worry about the people leaving. I would worry about why the bar is making the people leave. Bar Rescue ball caps, they're coming. Keep an eye on JonTaffer.com. We have a whole t-shirt program coming, our Shut It Down buttons, and a bunch of caps. Everything hits in the next few days, so keep an eye on JonTaffer.com. Do I get a percentage of each bar that I do? No. I specifically don't. I have no involvement in it in any way, shape, or form. I do what I do on Bar Rescue. When I say goodbye and walk out of that bar, I don't see that owner again after that. I literally walk out of the bar, get in my car, and leave. And so it ends for me. Have I ever hired anyone from a rescued bar? I'd have to think about that for a moment. I don't believe I have, but I've moved some around. I believe that I've helped people get jobs in other places from rescued bars, but I've never hired one myself. There's a bar rescue DVD that came out now. And it, rather than it being season 1, season 2, it's season 3. It's my angriest moments, and it's a collection of 10 great episodes, and it's available now on Amazon, and it is available on DVD. Do I have any business in Michigan? Not now. Many years ago, I was involved in a bartending school in Detroit, Michigan, but I am not in business there now. Boise. I'd come to Boise. Do I have a biography out? No, but my book, Raise the Bar, is very biographical. And if you go on YouTube, there's interviews that I've done with Google and a bunch of other people that are very biographical in nature. And here's my book. Let's see if I can do this here. And Raise the Bar is available on Amazon. And it is, again, very biographical. And it talks about how I sort of came up with the approaches I did. And a lot of good management lessons, even if you're not in the bar business. I'm very proud of that book, and I believe it has a 9.7 rating on Amazon, or 4.7, whatever is close to the highest rating on Amazon you can have, so I'm really proud of it. Who are my drumming heroes? Well, that's a great question. Obviously I like Ginger Baker back in those days. Mitch Mitchell's back in those days. Appice was great. Talk about jazz drummers. Guys like Art Blakey were great in his day. I got to tell you, Lars from Metallica is great. There's a lot of great drummers out there across all different music types, and that's what's great about music. You found that my management tactics are applicable in other industries. Well, I'm not just in the bar business. I ran a trade show for many years, one of the largest in Vegas. I've owned other types of businesses over my years, and what I teach on Bar Rescue, sometimes I've even learned in another business as far as a management principle. So what I do on Bar Rescue is definitely applicable to other businesses, particularly customer service-oriented businesses. Favorite group to listen to? Oh boy, I'm not sure I have a favorite. I listen to all music, and I listen to a lot of current music because I'm in the bar business, I'm in the nightclub business, so I need to stay current on everything. So I can't say I have current favorite, but my favorites are probably not very different than yours. Oh boy, you guys are inviting your friends. Well, then I should pop out the scotch if you're all inviting your friends, and let's make this a real party. How How long have I been in contract with Spike TV? My contract with Spike TV, I think, expires in about another year or so for Bar Rescue. But I have another agreement with Spike for another show. So I hope to be doing business with Spike for a long time. I love Spike. I love the executives at Spike. I love the promo team, the marketing team at Spike. I love my crew. I'd stay with Spike forever, from my view. I couldn't be with a better bunch of people. So I hope I'm with them forever. What makes it the most mad? Always, and there's a consistency in Bar Rescue. Irresponsibility makes me the maddest, or neglect. Mistakes are one thing, choices are another. A filthy kitchen that gets somebody sick isn't a mistake. That's a choice that the owner made. He could have made it clean. Overpouring, ripping people off, pouring well liquor and call brand liquor, pouring water in liquor bottles. Anything that, is irresponsible or dishonest is what really infuriates me. Again, because those aren't mistakes, those are choices. And when people make bad choices, that's when I beat the hell out of them. When they make mistakes, that's when I teach them to be better. And you'll see I'm very consistent in that regard. How do I pick which experts? That's a great question. I have a bunch of experts. I have experts like Nick Liberato and Vic Vegas and Irish chefs and Italian chefs. And, Tony G is probably the finest pizza chef in the world. I look at the bar that I'm going to, and I try to pick the experts that are best. And obviously, Mia is very different than Lisa Marie, who is very different than Phil Wills. So we have a bunch of different experts, and I try to plug the right experts in to the right episode. Look at Vic Vegas compared to Nick Liberato. They're very different people. They have a different culinary approach. So I consider what their skills are and what they love when I plug them in to a particular bar. How do we find people to do Recon? We often they're just locals that might own a business down the street. Sometimes I'll send somebody right to a college campus if it's a college bar to pick up some college students. Sometimes they're local bloggers. Sometimes they're friends. Maria Menounos comes on and does it, and Kevin Undergar will do it for me. They're my buddies. That's why they do it. Sometimes they're friends. Sometimes they're just locals. But there's no direct formula for Recon. Did it feel good? Somebody just asked me if it felt good to do Don Snapper. You're referring to the Nickelodeon thing I did in SpongeBob SquarePants. Yes. And those of you that haven't seen the Don Snapper piece should go look at it online. It's really funny. And if you look at Don Snapper, who is a fish, and by the way, on that piece, I was a professional expert. But if you look at him, that fish actually has my hairline and is wearing my sport jacket. So take a look at it now again, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's very funny. And that's Don Snapper, and that was on Nickelodeon for SpongeBob SquarePants. Who won the shirt? Nobody yet. Now, Tina, now we have to do an on-shirt. Okay, now we're going to make this an official contest. I will not give out one shirt. We will give out 5 shirts. Keep a look on our social media. We'll announce how and when and who we're going to do it with in the next hour. At the end of the Bar Rescue episode, we will put forth our T-shirt program for you. You cornered me, and I'm not going to allow my promise to be broken. So now I'm coming through with 5. So Tina, who manages all the social media for Taffer Media, is watching this screen with me. And she is watching the names go by, and she is going to flag people to get T-shirts. So those of you who ask either funny questions, interesting questions, provocative questions, or maybe just beg really hard, I'm kidding, we'll get a T-shirt. So we'll name the 5 at the end of the Bar Rescue episode. So watch online, and we will send a tweet to them, correct? If they won, we will send a tweet to the 5 people who won right at the end of the Bar Rescue episode. Am I in trouble for doing this? Nope. Okay, I'm good. Okay, is there a type of bar that you haven't had to rescue yet? There's a few. We haven't done a bar in a stadium yet, which we're working really hard to find one. We haven't done a topless bar yet. That's coming, and you guys are going to love that one. A bowling center bar, bars with huge amusement game rooms, etc. attached to them. So there's a few types that we haven't done yet. that I look forward to doing in the next season or so. We're working. We have about 12 or 14 more to do this season. You know, no plan got me into the bar business. I was in college and I started tending bar, and I just stayed with it. I really love this business. It's a great business. And if you do it right, really what I do for a living is I make people smile. And that's a really cool business when your job is to make people smile, make them happy, let them party. That's a great profession. Hi, Sarah. I hear you painting another painting of me. It was nice to see you back to the bar. Hopefully I'll see you soon. And those of you that don't know, Sarah just came by. She painted a picture of me that I got a feeling she's going to post in the next few minutes so everybody can see it. What percentage of bars would you say are successful? I mentioned that earlier. There's an independent website called Bar Rescue Updates that tracks it. We have nothing to do with it, nor does Spike, and they track us at about an 80% success ratio. And I'm very proud of that number. I believe we have the highest success ratio of any business transformation show on television, so I'm told. Women's Topless episode. It's coming. And it is the top of all episodes. No, it's coming, and you're going to love it. It's a great episode. You know, topless bars have a whole different set of dramas to them, with the entertainers and their drama together, and so you'll love that episode when it premieres. Any internships with our social media team? Well, you can go to jontaffer.com, and there's a place where you can submit applications for employment and opportunities, and submit your information. We're always looking for great people, right, Tina?
Yes.
Yes. Do I have a fantasy football team? No, I don't have a fantasy football team. When you shoot bar rescue 5 days a week and there is no Monday through Friday, unfortunately, it seems every shoot day is either a Thursday, a Sunday, and a Monday. So, you know, watching football is like out of the question for me these days, unfortunately. What was the greatest thing you've seen in a bar? And there's a number of stories. If you want to hear the greatest thing that I've ever seen in a bar, listen to the Nerdist broadcast that I just did, because I told the troubadour story of the craziest thing that ever happened to me in a bar in the Nerdist broadcast. So go to nerdist.com and you'll see it's there, and it's worth listening to. It's a very funny story. 3 most important things when opening a bar. Have money. More money than you think you need, because you're going to screw up, make some mistakes. Things are going to take longer. They're going to cost longer, take longer to do. They're going to cost more, and it's going to take longer for your sales to go up than you expect. So have a lot of money. If you don't know what you're doing, find somebody who does, because failing in this business can be very, very expensive. And if you're not sure, open a bar in your basement. It's a lot cheaper. All righty, let's see what we got here. I got some interesting news to tell you about. So, you know, Bar HQ is now one of the most successful B2B apps on the internet. And Bar HQ is completely free. And those of you that own bars or work in bars, have your owner or download Bar HQ. It does schedules. It does all your promotions, social media management. It's completely free. And it's very cool. So those of you in the bar business, tell everybody to get their Bar HQ app. And employees will love it because everybody's connected by their phone. Schedules are on your phone. Day off requests happen through the phone and stuff. It's really, really cool. So if you don't have it, get it. We also have TVT coming up, which is Taffer Video Teaching, which is a completely interactive video teaching program that we launch in November. We actually sit in front of a computer screen, and I ask you questions and interact with you, and it's truly virtual teaching, and we're really, really excited about that. We never see you drive, always parked. Oh, that's not true. I drive away sometimes. You know, when Bar Rescue is 42 minutes long and we're there for 5 days, you know, sometimes we just don't want to waste the time of shots of me driving away or driving up, and we really focus on what's important. There's a lot of story to tell in Bar Rescue, and there's a lot of personal drama and change and sciences all going on in the episodes. So, you know, it's hard to pick and balance all of those elements. And unfortunately, a lot winds up on a cutting room floor, as they say. But obviously, there's enough there because everybody keeps watching. How long are you married? Nicole and I have been together for 20 years. 18 years, I believe. We've been married now for 15 years. And if I got that wrong, I'm really in big trouble. I'm close, I know that. I believe I've been married 15 years now. You've been watching Bar Rescue all day. Keep watching. Watch next Sunday, too. I love the marathons and that everybody supports the marathons. It's really very, very flattering. And that's why I try to come online Sundays and get on social media myself and participate as much as I can. Can I come yell at the students in your classroom? I do go to schools and I do speeches and things like that. So if any of you have an event or something that you'd like us to do, now understand we can only do a few. But if it's a meaningful event, particularly for a charitable cause, get in touch with us at jontaffer.com and we will look at it. And if possible, we'll support you in some way. But we're big on animal causes, children's causes. So please let us know if we can support you. Who picks the tab up for the companies? All of the remodels, nobody pays a dime in Bar Rescue as far as the owners are concerned. They get everything for free. Everything is either given by sponsors, paid for by the network, or in some cases given to me by my friends. I've been doing this a long time, so I have friends that do lighting, refrigeration, sound, all that kind of stuff. And typically they participate in the episode. And you'll hear me mention their names, or the announcer mention their names at the end of each episode. At the Haunted Bar, I did not have a personal episode. But when I walked into that bar, I was a doubter. But they truly believed it. And one of my producers was in there interviewing them when this neon thing went on and off. And neon doesn't flicker in a way that this did. But they completely believed it. And what we portrayed in that episode was 100% true. I understand the ghost has returned, I've heard through the grapevine, for what it's worth. I guess he had a good time last time he was there. Any Canadian bar rescues on tap? Nothing yet, but we're talking about it. I'm going to guess we'll be doing it soon. I'd love to. I come up to Canada all the time. I'd love to do a bar rescue up there. My favorite POS system is probably two-touch POS. It's dependable. It works really, really well. It has great reporting information. That would probably be my favorite. But, there's a lot of great systems out there. But if I had to pick one, I would pick them. Just in time for Halloween. We have 5 minutes left. So, I'm shooting my 100th episode of Bar Rescue. And I start shooting it in a few days. And I wanted to make sure that I thank my crew, Three Ball Entertainment, Todd Nelson, Ross Weinberg, and everybody over at Three Ball. I also want to thank, obviously, Spike and everybody for letting me get this far with 100 episodes, and you guys for watching. It's unbelievable, a milestone that I get to hit this week. And you'll be seeing that 100th episode, as I understand it, in February. So we're very, very excited about that. So, give me a couple of last questions. Let's go out with a bang here. We got 5 minutes. Do I have a relationship with Diageo? Diageo is one of the sponsors of our show, and Diageo has been participated in a trade show I ran for 20 years. So Diageo is my friend. Dave McNulty there, and there's a whole bunch of people at Diageo that are dear, dear friends of mine. Anheuser-Busch is a company I'm particularly close with. I have a lot of friends in Anheuser-Busch and the AB team, as I call them, and I work closely with them. So I have a lot of friends in the industry, but I'm probably closest of all with everyone with Anheuser-Busch and Diageo. Tell us the Taffer scary stories at bedtime. You want a little bedtime scary story? I don't want to scare you at the end of this. I want to end this positively. I'll scare you at the next Periscope, I promise. Why do you think employees stay so long in these shitty bars? Somebody asked me. That's a great question. And I think about that often because sometimes these people are so wonderful and they have so much potential. And if they were working for somebody else, they could achieve so much success, but they're stuck. Sometimes great people perform really well at what they do, but they lack the confidence to take the next step forward because they're so comfortable in what they do. So that's frustrating for me. So what I have to do is give them that nudge and that push to take this step forward. And at second base is a perfect example of that, where I told the employees to go get other jobs because they were all better than the bar that they worked in, which became extremes. I should say at extremes. Favorite quote has got to be, they shot a freaking porn movie on that couch. They did. And if you ever go online and look at that movie, it was disgusting. There were more legs and arms on that couch than I've ever seen in any one place ever. Do I own a portion of the bars that I rescue? No, I own nothing. Typically when I give the owner a hug and walk out of the bar, I do get in my car and leave, and I never see them again, and I have no involvement in the bars after I leave. Do I still have contact with them? Yes. But it's really up to them. If they keep in touch with me, I keep in touch with them. Brad and Steve at Bourbon and I are good friends. Jerry at Sorties and I are good friends. The Alexanders at Moonrunners and I are good friends and have kept in touch. It's all up to the owner. I'm here. They know how to reach me if they want me. What's the hardest part of a rescue for me? Honestly, the schedule. The hardest part, the hug is very motivating for me. And at this point in my life, I do it more for the hug than the check, to be honest with you. The hard part of bar rescue is the travel. I love the work. I love rescuing and helping people. I love opening the bars. I love getting that hug and leaving. I don't like being away from home 40 weeks a year. So the bummer about bar rescue is travel. What was your worst bar rescue? Oh, O-Face for sure. O-Face was the most unpleasant few days of my life, and I would be less than honest if I didn't tell you I loved walking out of there and not rescuing their bar. That was one of my most pleasurable moments in bar rescue. I might have enjoyed walking out of that bar as much as I've enjoyed revealing any other. What is my favorite drink? I mentioned this earlier, Godfather, which is scotch and amaretto. I like it dry, which is about an ounce and a half of scotch, just a couple of drops of amaretto on top. Spirits on Bourbon was a huge success and an emotional show. Brad and Steve are great guys. Clue to see the new systems. Thank you. The worst thing you found in a bar, I'm still going to go with the mushroom in Fairways. That mushroom that was growing out of the wall and that walk-in was the size of my freaking head. So I can't imagine anything that I've seen worse than that or more shocking than when I walked in and saw that. Have there ever been I couldn't read that one. It went by too quick. Sorry. I will hug you. Oh, thank you. I'll hug you back if you hug me. Do you recommend big box for bars? It's interesting. Big box bars come and go, and there's trends. Right now, the trend is more for smaller, intimate bars and ultra lounges and smaller, higher energy environments, not big box bars. And the trends go back and forth. So me, if I had enough money for a big box bar, I might open 3 small ones with the same money. We're down to 1 minute, folks. 1 minute. O-Face smells like a big... Are you glad I walked out of O-Face? I will be coming back to Connecticut soon. I have a lot of family in the Stamford area. Godfather is a great drink. I agree with you. Come back to Fort Lauderdale. I would love to. Matter of fact, we'll be down in Florida this winter shooting some bar rescue. Not the horse shit. People didn't like the horse shit. By the way, when I met them, they sent me a note about that horse shit. And I did a Back to the Bar episode that you'll see soon. And we're going to talk about that horse shit in great detail, actually. Ever had to call the police? No, but the police are often there when we shoot. They come, they say hello, and they often hang out and with us. So they're very often in the bar when we're shooting or around the bar when we're shooting. You used to eat at Fairways before I rescued it? It's nice to see you live to tell the story. What relaxes me? I have a tour bus. I have a 42-foot bus that I sneak away in. That relaxes me. I have a drum set in my office, a guitar in my office, and my dogs and my wife, and those are the things that tend to relax me. What did I think of Hooch? Yeah, good people. Good people, and I think I left the bar in a great place. Travelers Tavern says hi. Hey, guys, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. Have they saved the bar in St. Louis? Soon. Very soon. Bridgeport, Connecticut in the house. Hey, Bridgeport. Hey, Jacksonville. Come back to Texas. We'll be back in Texas soon, too. We're down in just a couple of seconds. So, at the end of this bar rescue episode, watch Twitter. And we will announce the winners of our 5 T-shirts. We'll get your sizes. You'll send us your information. We'll send them to you. Watch JonTaffer.com for a whole bunch of new products coming out. And we'll do this really soon. It was fun. I promise we'll do it soon. Bye-bye, everybody.